on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. This is the state of wrestling, and that is Jake fucking DeMarco. What's going on, buddy?
Holy hell, my friend. As we were just saying, I mean, talk about being inundated with a bunch of news. Off the beaten path, we must go. No predictions or spoilers to be had here, folks. Just straight up facts and opinions.
Go back to last night. Anybody that's interested, we did do a preview for MLP Sacred Ground. Was a lot of fun. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be running up against a hell of a SmackDown. We'll talk about that momentarily. But Jake, I have a question for you.
Yes, my friend.
Or more an idea to pass on to you, or a statement, if you will. When in war, there's two ways to win, right?
Indeed.
Either you kill your enemy, or your enemy retreats.
Yes, very true.
Judging by everything that fell out yesterday, we won.
Or you lose. I mean, that's the final option, realistically.
Well,
but
as I said, there's two ways to win. You don't win by losing. Anyways, but we won as of last night. As of yesterday.
Yes.
You know, says the captain of the opposition.
It's official.
I think that this is fantastic. For context, I guess we should say what we're talking about, considering we've had half this conversation on Messenger already.
Yes.
The announcement came out from Tony Khan himself.
Dun, dun, dun.
That on September 20th, they are time shifting the All Out Toronto show. The show that I'm going to, by the way, for those of you out there that think that I'm biased.
Inconveniencing you. That was Cody's main point. He couldn't let up on. Oh, what about the fans that have hotels and stuff and have to get there earlier now? And I was like, I can't be mad at that. WWE's done that. They did that with an NXT show I went to. It happens when they have to move cards, but it just goes to show your point, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna actually, you're gonna be surprised. I'm gonna give AEW a sliver of credit in a second. Or I'm going to give them the sliver of credit that I would have been able to give them if they hadn't gone too far.
Yes.
But anyways, the announcement came out yesterday. Sort of a combination of a couple of announcements. A rambling Tony Khan tweet, like that's not a regular thing.
No.
That All Out in Toronto is shifting from an 8 o'clock start time to a 3 o'clock start time.
Yes.
Now,
indeed.
what makes that even funnier is the alert that I got from Ticketmaster. Because it corrects, because I've got the Apple Wallet thing, so it corrects the ticket within your wallet or whatever. My ticket now says entry at 1:15. So what the fuck are they doing on that kickoff?
Yeah,
not even going to question it. And this is not even a conversation about like how good or bad I think All Out is going to be. I think there is actually some potential, but they changed the time. They announced a new streaming service that you can grab it on.
Yes.
Because you can already get it
at a minute discount.
At a minute discount as well. But I mean, they've already done Prime. They've already done Triller. They've been doing Triller for a long time. There's also like payperview.com. They do the YouTube purchase that you can do and all that kind of thing. Now it's available on, I think they said Crave as well. No, HBO Max.
HBO Max, yeah.
HBO Max, which would be Crave up here.
Which you'll get a discount at with.
Here's the funny thing about that, like, and it's just a side note because I don't really care. They just started their deal with Prime not too long ago, right?
Yes.
So now hopping to another service and offering their customers a discount there. What's that going to do to their working relationship with Prime? I don't really care, but it's a funny thing to consider.
It is because like they're segmenting their audience, just like Stephanie McMahon got the ire of ESPN for saying, you know, use a VPN. Yeah. We've now seen how this plays out, and yeah, it's not going to work out well for them if they go ahead and keep segmenting their audience. They have it all over the place, so you never know what their actual numbers are. Then you get false claims like, oh, they're up to over 500,000 live viewers a week on Max, meaning they're getting 1.3 million on TV. You know, shit like that we knew was never ever happening. Even at their highest, they never broke that. You know, their highest ever was their debut.
The Stephanie McMahon thing, I just want to stick in there with a quick thing. The Stephanie McMahon thing is a sticky wicket because on one side, WWE is going into the ESPN deal for you guys in the States, starting with WrestlePalooza, which we're going to talk about in a second. But on the other hand, her podcast is sponsored by a VPN
And I'm
company.
so tired of hearing, oh my goodness, she's doing it for the fans. She's doing it. She's not taking up for the fans. It's her wallet.
No,
There's a sponsor. If VPN wasn't
yeah.
a sponsor, she wouldn't have muttered those words once. It would never have been uttered out of her mouth. She would never
Oh,
have
I don't think
cared.
she's. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she did it from an altruistic point of view, but
I'm
I
not
am
putting that
saying
on you, but a lot of people on Twitter
no.
have gone, you know, even my co-host has gone under the guise of, oh, look at how altruistic, look how virtuous she is. Look at her go ahead and you know, signal to us fans saying that it's okay, use the, you know, I'm like, no, it's literally a sponsor. I said, had
Yeah.
they not sponsored it, she wouldn't have been, you know, a part of it. That's it. That's all it comes down to.
But what I'm saying is the other side of the coin. I'm not saying she's some super altruistic person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the other side of the coin was, oh well, she's sure gonna piss off ESPN.
Yep.
She's got a podcast. She did an ad read. Now, did she apply the ad read to a WWE thing that's gonna be on ESPN? Yeah, but like she's kind of in a no, like not
Oh,
saying
she
for
pissed them
sympathy
off
point of view,
bad.
but
She did.
What?
She pissed them off
She,
bad.
oh, I bet she did.
ESPN.
But
Oh
like,
yeah, they very angry. They're big time mad.
are they big mad?
Yeah, they're big
But
mad.
like
Legitimately, like that. That's the
realistically,
last.
realistically speaking, like she's on a podcast that's sponsored by a VPN thing. She read an ad read for her sponsor.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she's this super great person, but I don't think she did anything wrong either.
I obviously don't have
Right?
a direct quote, but from what I was reading last, it was kind of like, then you shouldn't have taken the sponsor, or you should have, you know, put it towards a different idea.
Yeah, but was her podcast
wrestling.
sponsored by them? Like, what happened first? Like, did they have a contract, like a sponsor contract with the VPN before they made the ESPN deal, or after?
That's a great point.
Because once you're in,
yeah,
and you go breaking contracts,
yeah,
then
that's a different
ESPN's
game.
going to ESPN's going to look at WWE and say like, okay, what kind of deal thing are we in?
Yeah.
Anyways, we went way off the beaten path there for a second. I don't think Stephanie McMahon is a great, super altruistic person. I just don't think she did anything wrong.
No, I agree with you there.
Point being, 1, 2, 3 punch there. They time shifted the show. They added another platform, which in and of itself is a good thing. And they threw in a discount that they wouldn't have gotten until now because they're scared of the competition. My point is, you don't do bing, bang, boom in one post, in one press release, in one day, 17 days before said show, if you're not a little bit nervous.
Absolutely.
Now, caveat, if it was just the time shift, like they did the time shift with All in Texas as well.
Yes.
If it was just the time shift, I would almost applaud them, because you and I said this ages ago.
Yes.
When the Wednesday Night War was happening and everybody was getting toxic on both sides, and I'm just as guilty of it as anybody else, I said, if both sides could be adults for 5 seconds, come to a compromise, both of them shift by an hour, and NXT runs from 7 to 9, Dynamite runs from 9 to 11. Everybody could win.
Yes.
This is the pay-per-view equivalent of that. But you're not doing it so that everybody can win. You're doing it because you're on the downslide and because you're scared. And I don't remember who was in the original meme, but like Tony Khan, if you're scared, say you're scared.
And here's the thing too, what time does WrestlePalooza begin? That's what I'm trying to find out. Because
from everything I've seen, it's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
If they had stayed, the kickoffs would have been going head to head, and the starts of both shows would have been going head to head.
Okay.
But they, you know how this is what I say, like, oh, WWE's, the people out there that are like, WWE's only good now because they have competition. If you like WWE right now, you should thank AEW, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe that that's a thing. But if you believe that that's a thing, the collective you, not my co-host, obviously, but you out there, if you believe that that's a thing,
you people,
then you have to believe that thanks is owed to WWE for AEW giving you a cheaper pay-per-view.
Absolutely, because like you said, that discount wouldn't have been offered.
The discount would have been offered, the time shift wouldn't have been offered. And the other thing about it as well, I have to keep reiterating, I am going to one of these shows. My view would be slightly different if it was like anywhere else and it was just all out WrestlePalooza.
Yeah.
Stretch it out over the course of the entire day. My wrestling starts at 1 in the afternoon and my wrestling ends at the end of WrestlePalooza. That'd be cool. I wouldn't get as much whiplash going from like one screen to the other to our friends at the Wrestling for Life Network that are probably going to be live reacting to both, right?
Yeah,
Like, let
exactly.
one go. It's like when All In Texas was a thing, and you finally turned off All In Texas, and you could switch over finally to Saturday night's main event. Would I
Yep.
love a little bit of distance? Yeah, but like at the same time, if I'm sitting at home in my room watching TV, the whole craziness factor that goes on with having two screens going, wrestling in this year, it happens a lot when TNA does their B shows, their Friday night shows, and I've got TNA on one screen and SmackDown on the other screen, and that's not any kind of bad thing.
No, certainly not.
It's
But
just like there's flurry and fury everywhere. When we talk about this SmackDown coming up tomorrow night, I'll be twisting my head between a very, very loaded SmackDown and a very, very interesting MLP pay-per-view.
yeah,
Like, you can,
you can
but
multitask, and I've double screened several times with
triple screen,
NXT, and
actually.
yeah, well, yeah, we've done that as well. So
Triple screen, actually. Well,
yeah, and
actually.
especially with the Wrestling for Life guys, shout out to them. You know, I've been shouting them out to make sure people go and check them out while they're watching the shows for the watch along, and then you come to us
And
for the
then join you
reviews,
after the
and
fact.
yeah,
I
and
think
then you for
I
the
think
pre-show. We got
if
the
there's
whole
ever a
market
cool
cornered.
1-2 if there's ever a cool 1-2 punch, check out our friends over at the Wrestling for Life Network during the shows, and then switch over to Jake after the show is over to give you a roundup and a wipe down. But as my point of all this being, if they had time shifted, I would have applauded them, because I was saying they should have done it 6 years ago.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, absolutely.
crying about the so-called counter programming that WWE is doing, and like I say once again, and I'll say it every single time, you can only make a claim of counter programming if you are so arrogant to think you own a day on the calendar, and you don't.
That's
But
that's
if
I
we're
I mean,
if
you
we're
could
gonna
say it's
pretend,
counter programming. I mean, I'm fine with saying that because hey, you wanted
but
to do
here's the
this
thing.
competition, you asked for it.
Here's the thing. I want Triple H to come out one day. Like, they don't do the kickoff or the what do you call it, the press scrums anymore,
Yeah,
and people are all of a sudden pretending that that's a bad thing. The day that Triple H comes out and says,
I hated
"Yeah,
when they did
Tony,"
those.
no, but the day Triple H comes out at a press scrum and actually nuts up, puts the business suit down, picks up the leather jacket again, and says, "Yeah, Tony, fuck you. We are coming for you." You know what my response is going to be? Good,
Sign me up.
good,
About
because they've been
time.
treating them with kid gloves for 6 years now. They've been saying, "We're coming for you." They had Jericho doing the demo god stuff and all that
Yeah,
type of thing,
small
right?
little jerk around jokes, but
But
nothing serious.
you cannot tell me that the last time they went head to head, when the head to head was a developmental pay-per-view, Saturday night's main event, which isn't even a pay-per-view, and a pay-per-view that only consists of half the roster the next day in a different city.
Yeah.
If that has you worried, then I'm not surprised that now, once again, when you finally get to go up against big boy WWE, that you're going to shift. You're going to find every platform you can. You're going to find every platform that's left, and you're going to drop prices into the basement, not because you give a single solitary fuck about your fans, but because you're trying to scrape and maintain what we have left. And I would have been saying that
Exactly.
anyway, but what did I send to you right before we got it? Raj Giri of I forget what outfit he's from.
How's he not in jail
Dynamite.
yet?
What?
Raj? Oh, you said Raj, not Raja.
Oh,
Sorry,
not
damn
not
it.
Raja. We're not talking about him tonight. AEW Dynamite garnered its lowest audience and
Mm.
lowest 18 to 49 demographic in history for
Oh,
Dynamite in its proper spot. Dynamite averaged only 472,000 viewers.
wow.
19% down just from the previous week. And keep in mind, also, this is while they're filling the 2300, which is less than 1,000 people.
We were
And
we were live last night too, and I kept saying like, "Oh, there's like not really any good reaction online. People aren't really like hyping this up
well,
at
because
all."
it's a
Like,
mess, right?
yeah,
Here's
so
the
I was
thing.
kind of confused, but I was like, people really, they don't seem to be responding. I'm like, it seemed like it was a bad show, but I didn't think it was that bad really. And from like the looks of it, but then I went through the
It's just
minute by
nothing great.
minute, and it was so
It's
just
cringe.
nothing. It was just a
But here's my
total
point, and
nothing.
here's where I wanna get ahead of everybody, because I know what's coming. The pay-per-view, the All Out, Toronto show that, once again, I am going to, is 10,000 tickets less than SmackDown tomorrow.
Exactly. And don't worry, I'm not
And
hitting the
their
Toronto
main
button
event
every
show,
time. You're free to say it.
their equivalent Monday Night Raw is in the 2300 arena. And what are people going to say to me? What are people going to say to me, the NXT guy? Oh, well, NXT ran the 2300 arena. Yeah, and that sucks too.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks for me. That sucks for me that tries to toot the horn for NXT. The difference is I will say that it sucks.
You've always been honest.
You think I don't want to see NXT back at the Barclay?
Exactly.
You think I don't want to see NXT in the Staples Center? You think I don't want to see an NXT pay-per-view in the Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto that
I want to see
actually
Lincoln
fills the
Field.
Scotiabank Arena?
WrestleMania 40. I want to see that filled for NXT.
Yeah,
That's it.
for
You know
sure.
what? I don't like hearing that AEW did poor, especially this bad. It's embarrassing, and it's also a bad look for wrestling fans. Not only does it show like a great disinterest in the product, but it also shows almost like a disdain in a way, because people are actively not tuning in.
Mm,
It's
of
not
course.
like they're just forgetting to
But see,
tune.
here's the
Like
thing,
they're
and
avoiding it now.
here's where I give you the credit that I don't give myself, and I own this 100%. And I had a very, very similar conversation with, once again, I'm going to shout out the guys from the Wrestling for Life Network, because I talk to Big Nick occasionally, and it's the difference between you and between those guys over there and me is you're noticing the bad stuff, right? You don't
Yeah.
want AEW to die. You hope they thrive eventually. You hope they find a run of success and they can turn themselves around. That would be where you're at with it.
Totally fair. Yeah, absolutely.
Start doing something good. The results will be good, and you'll start doing good, right?
Yes, you nailed it.
What did I say about a month ago on this pod? If they turn around, I will say good for them. But I'm very, very, very much the Ivan Drago at this point of, if they die, they die.
Mm.
And
No,
I am
I
gonna be
feel that.
and I am gonna be that dickhead that looks around Scotiabank Arena when I am there for All Out, and I am gonna see if anybody has their phone out. And I am gonna be looking up in the boxes to see what the TVs in the boxes are showing, because we have seen AEW shows where people in the boxes are watching the corresponding WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And you cannot tell me at this point that they have not retreated, that they have not forfeit, that they have not surrendered to put up the white flag, whatever. They shifted the pay-per-view for the second time. They've shifted the pay-per-view by more than 5 hours.
Yeah.
And
This
last
way
time it
they're
was
covered no matter what. Like they're
and last time it was
basically
just
good to
Saturday
go.
night's main event. And I'll make a bet with you this time around. This time around, they're gonna wrap up that show before WrestlePalooza starts.
Absolutely, for a couple of reasons. One, they absolutely need to, because they need to go ahead and have the show be done by then. This way they capture every bit of the search engine optimization. They want to be able to get the clicks and garner the headlines and all that type of stuff. They need that desperately. They need to go ahead and have that happen for them, because if not, it's all for naught. This is their second biggest show of the year. It's in Toronto. And they need this to be a hit. They need this to revitalize and bring back their.
And I'll tell you, man.
Class,
even when I was more high on them than I am now, obviously, Toronto's kind of a make or break market in a lot of ways. When they were here for Forbidden Door, and my interest wasn't quite. You and I talked about this on pods ad nauseum. They would not have had my money for Collision if they didn't have Punk. And that's not an offense meant to anybody else on the roster. I was able to get floor seats. It's the first time I've had floor seats to a show at Scotia, because it didn't sell that well. There was a lot of ROH stuff before and after the show. It was all kind of hodgepodge, but it was a lot of fun. There was that one 4-on-4 tag match that I talk about quite often. That was like Bullet Club Gold versus Ricky Saints, CM Punk, and the Revival. Now, how many of them are in WWE now? But
exactly,
I will say, and I cannot lie, I cannot tell a lie. They were jacked and stacked to the rafters for Forbidden Door. I was happy for that. I'd never been to see any Japanese wrestling in my life. My experience with New Japan is zero. And again, they had Punk. And does it come down to one wrestler? Yes. If it wasn't for Jeff Hardy all those years ago, I never would have checked out TNA.
Yeah,
CM Punk is that guy now.
It works for you.
They do not have, and I don't have the numbers in front of me. I should have looked them up before we started. They don't have close to the numbers that they had for Forbidden Door.
No, not a
Now
chance.
for All Out. And you remember before they brought back All In, All Out was sort of the show that they were trying to position as their WrestleMania. Now that narrative has shifted, to be
Yes,
fair.
now they forgot about
It's
that.
it's become very much a WrestleMania Backlash thing. But remember what they were trying to make it for a hot second there.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to
So
be their
there's nobody
main
that can tell me
story.
at this point. There's nobody that can tell me at this point in time. And this is not against anybody that of course I'm gonna go there because Edge and Christian are gonna be there, and it's probably gonna be the main event, and it's Edge and Christian versus the Revival, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But like it's not anything to do with the wrestlers involved. I'm probably gonna be there to see John Moxley versus Darby Allin. Is that gonna be a lot of fun? Yes. Are all the criticisms that I have of John Moxley and the way that they've presented him in the past little while gonna melt for one night?
Yeah,
Because
do
I'm
they
gonna
just
see him and
wash
Darby Allin
away?
kill. Yeah, it's all gonna wash away. I'm gonna watch these guys kill each other, and because I'm there in person, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
No, I was gonna say it
Let's
doesn't
be
just
let's
disappear, but you can at least put your bias
Yeah.
aside or your opinions aside and just enjoy the show. A lot of people can't
Well, if you're at
do
a
that though.
pay-per-view, and this is again, this is what AEW survives on. So this is what makes it even funnier because their shows week to week get roasted.
Yeah.
And it's very much, again, I say this comes a lot from me being an NXT fan and specifically being an old school black and gold NXT fan. There was a big period of time. You and I used to talk about it. Me and Guapo used to talk about it. There was a period of time, especially when the episodes were pre-taped, you could skip the weekly show
Oh
and tune
yeah.
in for the takeovers, and
Yep.
you'd be fine because the takeovers would serve you tenfold,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And those shows were only an hour at that point too, pretty much. So
Oh
they
yeah,
they
the hour uninterrupted on the network
so
that was then tried to be counter-produced by AEW when they
mhm.
dropped. Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing.
that one.
That's why I will never not find the counter programming argument funny because they were counter programming WWE from day one. They took what they thought was WWE's weakest link in NXT because NXT was on the network, and they're like, okay, we'll drop it right there. It just happens to be there.
I just
It
wish
just
someone would
happens to be there.
challenge Tony on this just once. Be
Mhm,
like, "Hey, but
mhm.
really, like, what is
But
this? Like, why
but you
would you
can't.
say it this
This is the
way?"
thing. This is the thing. When the guy speaks, we're the challenger out of one side of his mouth, and we're a victim on the other side of his mouth. There's no conversation to be had. There's
And you know what?
absolutely no.
I said it before. I would love nothing more to be like, "Oh, Dynamite just had their record viewership.
Yep.
Meanwhile, so did NXT." Like, I would love for both of them to be doing like
Yep.
Nitro and Raw numbers from the Attitude Era, or, Monday Night War time. Like, I'd love to see both of them super successful because then it's only better for who? The wrestlers, the wrestling fans, everybody. Because then
I'm sorry,
you've
man.
got choice
Like
on that.
I
But we're
again,
past
again,
that.
this
It's
is
never going to happen.
but this is again, this is where we come down to, and it doesn't make you wrong and it doesn't make me right. It
No.
comes down to you are still way nicer than I am on this at this point. What I want right now, I hope, and I'm nervous about it because I don't want to fuck over TNA. But this rumor that's out there that WWE is like, we're gonna get you a TV deal, but it's gonna be on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hope it's true.
I mean, it would be interesting to see TNA take that number 2 spot officially because they have it in
Mhm.
spades. So,
I keep hearing that Bound for Glory, and this is going off on a direction now. I keep hearing that Bound for Glory is now outselling Slammiversary, which is awesome, which means they're gonna break their own all-time record twice in 1 year,
and people are like,
which is
"Oh, it's only
fantastic.
because of the Hardys and the Dudleys." I'm like, "Well, that's certainly part of it, but
Well,
there's
they're
so
okay.
much more."
Okay, guess what? Um, the All Out ticket sales is only because of Christian and Edge. So if you say a company is only selling tickets because they have cool people on their roster, then no company is going to get any credit for anything ever.
Barring
You
last
know,
night, I don't even think we have any other official matches announced, do we, for All Out yet? Do we have?
I
I
think
only
they
saw the one that
announced
was official, but
there's the trios between Ricochet and his goobers versus the Hurt Syndicate.
yeah.
There's Mercedes Monet versus Riho. There's
Is that
the
official though?
yeah,
Okay.
they threw a graphic up like 5
Okay.
seconds after she made her comeback.
All right. I wasn't positive.
Which is okay, it's not cool. It's not exactly like sensical when WWE does it. It's not exactly sensical when AEW does it. But I will say getting back to sort of my takeover comparison, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on this because there's much more fun stuff to talk about. If you want to say that they are in the black and gold NXT era where everybody roasts the weekly shows and then they save themselves at the pay-per-view, it says a lot that Tony Khan has taken what was supposed to be one of their biggest pay-per-views and retreated and pulled the time back.
Yeah.
And offered so many discounts. And like, it's just, it's
smart.
I'm sorry. There's no other way to say this. And I'm sort of rounding out the point here. Tony Khan put up a white flag last night or yesterday or however you want to say it. And we won.
They won't look at it that way. They'll say, oh, well, we did this so that we could go ahead and avoid any type of, missed promotion or missed opportunity to be, because they don't want to get flooded out by WrestlePalooza, which WWE is absolutely doing everything they can to make sure that happens. So we'll see how far that goes. But yeah.
Okay, but when have they done it? Really, realistically, I think they did one NXT show a while ago. They had that big weekend in Atlanta of like 3 different shows, and there's been this. You still can't show me anything that was as egregious as every Wednesday for like 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'm sorry. And now when they have to shuffle a date, just out of coincidence, Dynamite moves to Tuesday. Or if they have to move a Collision, just out of coincidence, we're gonna throw that on Thursday with TNA. Gee, I wonder why. Are they working with WWE? Like,
makes you wonder.
If everybody would take their gloves off and say, yes, this is a fight. Yes, we won yesterday. Yes, we lost today. It's fine. But instead, you get this, look at this cool thing we're doing for the crowd that's disguising Tony Khan's biggest white flag.
Yes.
That's all I got. And I take it as a tremendous victory because, as I promised last night, I am not an adult tonight. I don't care. I am working down to the maturity level of our opposition. Anyways.
Touche, my friend. Touche.
Speaking of WrestlePalooza and the match that we think we're getting, we're all but sure we're getting, it's pretty much going to be confirmed tomorrow night on SmackDown.
I mean, that's another thing. We got to wait till SmackDown to see what's confirmed, but we only have one match official announced for that and, 2 weeks to go. So that's
several are in the pipeline.
Yes, we know what's going to be
other than
for the most part.
Other than what we're about to talk about, I'm pretty sure we're getting Rhea versus Asuka. We're definitely getting Io versus Stephanie Vacour, which is going to be amazing. And I'm sorry, put Stephanie Vacour and Io Sky up against Mercedes Moné and Riho, and I will just laugh. Every rumor seems to be indicating that every rumor seems to be indicating that we're getting Cena Brock. We're getting Drew versus Orton or Drew versus Cody. Both have been rumored, even though Cody's doing the what do you call it, the Street Fighter
I guess
stuff.
he's
Either
done.
one
He's
of those
wrapped up his stuff because him and Roman were filming opposites. They didn't have roles at the same time, I guess. So that's why Roman's leaving now to go film. And Cody's,
so let it be a surprise.
It's supposed to be Cody and Drew from what I've last heard, and then they'll eventually redo the Randy spot.
What I would love is for them to announce that it's going to be Drew versus Orton because Cody's quote unquote not here. Then Drew takes him out so that he can't be an opponent, and Cody comes back, and it's like, okay, well, fuck you, this match instead. Because that's a good match. Like, there's history. Drew and Cody were former tag team champions back in the day, yo.
Yes, indeed.
The dashing one and the chosen one.
There's a lot you can pull off
we
of there.
We don't want to call him the chosen one anymore. It's fine. But all signs seem to indicate that we are getting a mixed tag, Becky and Steph versus CM Punk and a returning AJ Lee. Now, I told you before we came on, this is one topic that I've broken down into about 5 different topics.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we never got a chance to talk after the last show. Becky joining the Vision. Your initial thoughts?
Big thumbs up. It makes them more interesting than they have been in weeks. Breaks up a bit of the monotony and adds a crucially needed element, which is a bit of character work, and it makes logical sense. It's her husband. She keeps bringing up how awesome and perfect and amazing her husband is, so why wouldn't she side with him?
My hot husband.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't she side with him?
My thing was even simpler of, like, I wasn't thinking of it on the night. As soon as I saw somebody get low blowed, and you
Yeah.
have that, like, microsecond in your brain before they take the hood off, it's like, "Oh, who is it?" Because we had heard Ethan Page, which didn't make any sense. We had heard Ricky Saints, which doesn't really make any sense. We had heard, this, that, and the next, and then Becky and the thing, right? So they bait and switched us because there could have been a couple of other, like, interesting options there. But also,
You knew it was a female as soon as we saw the body
oh,
figure,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, but I'm saying, like, before she even stood up, when you just
yes.
saw the nut shot, and
Yep.
they filmed it quite well
They
to
did. I
they
was not
hold off the
expecting that yet.
yeah, they held off the reveal for, like, a couple of seconds at least, the
Mhm.
way it was shot, because it was shot face on with Punk, because he was you knew something was gonna happen as soon as he was, like, waiting a long time to hit the GTS, like, that was a little bit, like, foreshadowing, telegraphing, whatever you wanna call it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the reveal was awesome.
It was.
And
It was very well
as soon
executed.
as I popped and as soon as I act surprised, was just as soon as I went into my own brain and went like, "Why are we surprised?"
Yeah.
Because and people are shitting on it because, "Oh, back in the day, they tried to be a tag team and it didn't work." First of all, they were both face. Neither one of them are, like, at their best when they're
Yeah,
working
and they
face.
weren't really a tag
S
team. They just worked together to take down Lacey Evans and
I was gonna say, second of all, you can only be as the story you're in, and we heaped praise on Baron Corbin last night because 'cause he's got a match coming up
yes.
at Sacred Ground tomorrow night. But at the time, the way they were presenting him and the way they were presenting Lacey Evans, Becky and Seth really didn't have much to deal with.
No,
And
and on top of it, you
sorry,
almost
much
wanted to
to work with,
cheer.
I should say.
Yeah, you almost wanted to cheer for anybody else besides Becky and Seth, and you still couldn't because Lacey Evans was just kind of flopping, and
Mhm.
Corbin was Corbin at
And
that point. Like it
I was gonna
just
say, well, Baron Co
he
he had
was.
flashes, right? And it was
Yeah,
always for me, it
moments of
was
greatness.
always for me, it was always look at what he's doing and try to see glimpses of what he did in NXT.
Yeah,
In his
the
heyday
lone
in
wolf.
NXT, where he was like surrounded by a bunch of indie guys and he was like the one anti-indie guy, it was so simple. And we talked a lot about simple
But
last night as well.
effective, and
But it was
that's
so simple
usually
and
what it
effective.
is.
And it's just like he's a dickhead, but he enjoys being a dickhead. I really hope I get to see some tag team stuff with him and Dijak, considering they're the MLW tag champs. I haven't had a chance to see any of it yet. But even if you take all that aside, first of all, they're both heels now. They're both better as heels. They can baby
Yeah,
faces helping each other out isn't as fluid as heels coming to help each other out. Heels coming to help each other out is almost expected. And they're both heels, they're both championship heels, and they're both on the same brand. So you can only go so long before they don't interact with each other. Like it made less sense that they weren't together.
exactly. And now that they're
Does
both
that make
heels,
sense?
yeah, the puzzle pieces already fit. It's like, why have you not put the corner in yet? Exactly.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? Everything else is built. No, it makes perfect sense. And
Okay. So second of
as
all, like
always,
like I
your
say,
analogies line up.
I've cut this into sort of
Yes.
different separate topics, right? The Seth and Punk feud itself. I think I've zeroed in on why I'm not sick of it like everybody else is, or like a great majority of people. Because even I was saying, as somebody that is obviously a big fan of Punk, as somebody who will wave the flag that Seth Rollins is criminally underrated at times,
Yeah.
they went back to it a lot. They've circled back to it quite a bit.
Oh yeah. No
But
doubt
they've
about it.
made it work now. What they've done to make it work, and this is again, I put this not I don't think the credit for this goes to Rollins necessarily. It does go to Punk. Punk is taking on a little bit of a Kevin Owens characteristic in the sense of whatever he's trying to do, whatever he's out there in the ring to say, whatever match he's in at the time, the interruption comes from Seth Rollins. And, like, he's not gonna swear, but, like, the look on his face, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
Yep.
Like,
Like, just
this
why me?
weird
Why now? Yes.
no, but this weird cathartic, like, the only people more sick of it than us is Punk himself. So now our frustration with the angle is Punk's frustration that goes right back into the angle again. So the fact that they're leaning into the fact that people are so sick of it, and so is Punk,
Yeah.
is gonna give it a whole they'll gonna give their feud story a whole new lease of life. And it makes it work, and it makes it harder to be sick of it if you've made part of the gimmick that one of the people in it is sick of it. It's and the reason I compare it to Kevin Owens is like when Kevin Owens would do like the fourth wall stuff of like, you can't come out here. Nobody even said your name. You didn't even play your music. This is how
Yeah.
things go. This is the contract signing. Of course somebody's gonna go through the table. Like a little bit of that, like if I may say
Silliness.
so, spastic Kevin
Oh,
Owens stuff. We're getting a CM Punk-ized version of that. And when Punk like just like he's not even there for a fight anymore. He's not even there to like take a chunk out of Seth Rollins anymore. He's just hands in the air, like head down on the turnbuckle. Are we still fucking doing this? And the
yeah.
fact that a lot of the fan base were feeling like that at
Gravitates.
the same time,
Yeah.
we're gravitating to that. But now, because you're sharing a frustration with Punk, it'll make you back Punk in the feud even though you're sick of the feud. And
Commiserating in misery, my friend. It's
yes,
an age-old
I think it's
classic.
brilliant. And I think it's like I say, other than Kevin Owens is slightly better at this particular type of frustration because he's so animated about it. CM Punk is almost like defeated by his own frustration. So it's the opposite end of the scale, but still the same kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
think it saves it because it's not, they haven't ignored the fans being sick of it. They've absorbed the fans that were sick of it and made that part of it. And
No, you're right.
not everybody could pull that off.
No, they
And
certainly
I
couldn't.
think it's fantastic. And I do think, like I say, I'm putting a lot of the credit for this on Punk because the element that I'm talking about is coming from Punk. Seth
Yeah.
Rollins is still criminally underrated. The faction that he's in, put Becky aside for a second. The the faction that he's assembled under him, I fully believe could break off tomorrow, be their own tag team by themselves with Heyman as their mouthpiece, and just go from there. Like I already think that Braun and Braun are too big to be in a faction.
Yeah.
I
And
why are they not killing Finn Balor and JD McDonough? And this is me, the Judgment Day fan.
no, that's
Like
I totally agree. Like what are they
why are these two
why are
not
they not
killing them?
draped in gold? Why are they not champions? Why are they not the men?
Why are
Like,
they not storming SmackDown tomorrow night and saying, "Why at 6? We don't care about your spooky bullshit. We're taking those belts too."
yeah, exactly. That's
Exactly.
exactly what should be happening. And they should just be, instead they keep losing and losing and losing. And high profile matches, and then Seth's like, "Oh, we did it because we have the Money in the Bank briefcase, so we're geniuses." It's like, no, all you did was cash in.
Mhm.
What, Triple H is obsessed with moments and going
Yep.
viral instead of story now, and that's been his booking for a bit now, where he wants, like the Cena heel turn was a great moment, but no one knew what to make of it past that because the story was never thought out. It was just supposed to be a moment.
I will say though, I'll give them credit, and it's pretty ballsy. The way they just said the Cena shit ain't working, they pulled the plug,
Yeah.
they reversed course
I guess
completely,
John was
and
like in the
and
back
just
upset
said,
about it. They said supposedly he
uh,
was like, I'm just, this is not working. I don't want to waste the rest of my time doing something that isn't working. Can we just, and that's
yeah,
why they're
but
just like,
they
fuck
didn't
it,
try
go
to
fix
taper
it.
it. They didn't really try to taper it down. They
No,
didn't try to say, "Oh, somebody came along and gave him a big speech and changed it." Well, they kind of did with Cody, but
a
like
little bit, but
he basically came in, flipped a switch. I'm a good guy again. Let's go have a good match on Sunday. Everybody thought it was a work, and for once, it wasn't a work. And
yeah.
it's like, no, this wasn't working. We pulled the plug. We're starting from scratch.
Yep.
And I think
And it kind of
that
reminds you what's great about wrestling is that the fact that they
mhm,
can do that, that you can
they
take
can do that,
somebody.
but I they did run a risk though. This is why I say it's kind of balls because you could have had a fan base that said, "No, no, 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 you did this bullshit for this long. We're not going to let you forget about it." But
Yeah.
because people know they've only got so much time left with Cena, whether you're a huge Cena fan or not, people know they only have so much time left with Cena as a character, like 8 more dates or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
And this is probably his
Um,
last SmackDown this week. This is going to be it. It's going to
yep,
he started it
everything
his
else,
year in Chicago, and that's
yep,
that's how he capped it off.
everything else he does from here on in is at PLEs and special events. And I think it's going to be a matter of he'll show up at one PLE and they'll announce what he's doing at the next one, and they'll announce what he's doing at the next one. I think it'll be that simple.
Yep.
But I think if
Someone
it
will
was
come out
anybody
after he
else,
beats Brock or Brock beats him, either which way, someone else will come out.
but like
Now,
if you
I've
imagine
also heard
somebody
Brock
like
is only working the one Cena match and that's it. I don't know the credibility to that. I'm going to take that with a big grain of salt, but I could picture
I don't want
Lesnar.
I hope not
I hope not
because
either,
I
but
there's not an element And yes, people think what they think of Brock, and they think he did what they think he did, or they think he knew about what they think he knew about. And I'm putting that aside for a second. There's a lot of really impressive people that have come in after Brock. There's
Yeah.
nobody that brings the element that Brock brings.
Yeah, that
Exactly. There's
explosive,
the
rage-filled
explosive, yeah. But like, there's
intensity.
a, and it shouldn't be a good thing. But the idea that like he walks in with this attitude of I don't need to be here. I'm bigger than this, which
Yes.
normally I would hate. But in in a Brock Lesnar match, like he could walk into WrestleMania tomorrow, destroy Walter, and walk out and be like, "Yeah, of course I did."
Yep.
Now that's not good for Walter. Don't get me
No,
wrong,
it's not good for
but
anybody
like
he faces usually, but Lesnar's the only one it works for, and that's
but
why
you
I
can't
disliked him for
replicate it.
so long. Because now I at least appreciate the spectacle that is Lesnar.
Oh
Back
yeah,
then, I was more jaded of the fact of like I hate what he does to the boys. He doesn't earn his spot. He just shows up, takes a big spot, works 3 minutes when everybody's doing a half hour, and he
but you know
just
what it is.
gives
You know what
up.
it is
And
with the new mentality of wrestling, and not everybody like grinding themselves into dust, and people taking
yes,
breaks when they need to, and everybody having a little bit more not lazy. Please, everybody listening to me, I'm
yes,
not saying
but
anybody's
but
lazy,
they're working
but
less shows.
everybody's got a little bit more of a relaxed schedule. The people that need to take time properly are taking time properly.
Yeah,
The whole Brock Lesnar, oh, grr, he's a part-timer, like that criticism is kind of losing its teeth in 2025 in
yeah.
general. So it makes somebody like Lesnar coming back not quite as egregious. I don't know whether you agree with me on that take or not,
There's
but
also, I feel like, not so much more spots, but people are being used, a bit more now. They have less to worry about in terms of like losing that spot and the way contracts are set up.
it is another one of those things now where WWE has their fingers in so many pies, pause. Like there is like you could say in fantasy booking land, what the fuck happens if Brock Lesnar shows up at AAA?
Yeah.
What the fuck happens if Brock Lesnar shows up in NXT and challenges Trick Williams
We
for the
saw
TNA
the Beast
title?
in the East in Japan, and he killed all
Hmm?
of New Day. So,
Yep. But can you imagine Brock Lesnar walks out of an NXT show with Trick Williams's TNA title?
right?
Like, I don't necessarily want to see that, but I do like that we live in a world where we could see that.
Yeah, where it could happen.
Like that Brock Lesnar showing up at a TNA event would be like the opposite of a kid wearing his dad's clothes.
Mm. Yeah, no kidding.
Like, like it would be like a dad wearing his kid's clothes. But no, there's a lot of stuff to be said by that. But getting back to my initial point, before we throw in the respective wives, the respective partners, and what have you, um, Seth and Punk took a program that everybody was getting sick of and actually successfully used the fact that people were sick of it to their advantage. And I think that deserves incredible credit.
Yeah, they made it work. I mean, can't deny
Now,
it.
before we talk about the promo on Raw, because that's going to be I think a bit of a contentious conversation, we have to say that the rumors are most likely we see AJ Lee tomorrow on SmackDown. CM Punk says he's going to SmackDown. It's in Chicago. Apparently they've sold a fuck ton of tickets. They've sold more tickets for SmackDown than they have for All Out. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah,
Um,
which is
all
crazy.
all due reality, I think we're getting AJ Lee back in the WWE this tomorrow night on SmackDown. I think it's really cool. I think it's cool for her. I think it's a success story for her. I think the way she was treated by WWE and by the fans to a certain degree after Punk's departure 10 years ago
Yeah,
is something that there needs to be a little bit of a recompense for that. Also, AJ Lee being in the roster is just a good thing in general. My theory on this, and I hope they run with it, and I'm talking about like after the mix tag at WrestlePalooza, you got to do one of two things. They're debuting her on SmackDown because SmackDown's in Chicago. CM Punk's going to be there, blah, 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 right?
yes.
But if they debut her on SmackDown, they could feed us the line that she's a SmackDown person. CM Punk's a Raw person. So
Mm,
after the mix tag, they're able to have individual runs
yeah,
so that after the mix tag is over, you don't have this, oh, look, check it out, it's Punk's wife. No, that's AJ Lee, new superstar on SmackDown.
yeah, exactly.
That's option one. Option two is a lot more fun.
Dun dun dun.
Because who else have we been waiting to come back to the women's division of WWE?
Who's that?
Paige.
Oh, that's a great
You
point. And then figured,
use
old enemies
use
turned besties turned a team. Yeah.
you use AJ Lee to facilitate after I don't mean user. I mean like it makes sense storyline wise. But use AJ Lee as the bridge to bring in Paige. We know that there's concerns about Paige on a physical level. If Paige can have tag matches where she's one of 4 people in the ring instead of one-on-one, it may alleviate some of the stress on her if she's not 100%, which would be great. We know they have chemistry. They had the match with the Bellas like 10 years ago to show what women's wrestling was supposed to be.
Yes.
And because the women's tag team championships float overall. First of all, you're going to get Paige and AJ Lee versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Tell me that's not going to be fun.
Who wouldn't love that?
But also because they're floating titles,
Yes.
you have the potential of AJ Lee and Paige not only mixing it up with NXT talent, but mixing up with TNA talent as well.
That's world breaking at this point. And here's the thing though. See, your future booking, this is what I'm worried about. I guess I didn't voice this the greatest way the other day because this is probably the best storyline way to bring AJ Lee back in terms
Yeah.
of current WWE. Could they do a better
Yes.
story? I'm sure, but this is not terrible by any means. Your husband needs help. Her husband's, you know what I mean, a thorn in your side, and now she is too. So you need to even up the playing field. I get it. It works well for that. So I don't want to sound like a hypocrite and be like, oh, there's no story. There is a story. I'm just worried that they're bringing her back strictly to counterbook AEW in the moment, but they don't have anything planned going forward. Like, this is it. Like, this is all we'll get for her. That's my worry.
See, here's the thing, and that would be a bummer, but she's been saying for the last 10 years she's done with wrestling. She's worked on TV shows about wrestling and whatever in an advertising or in a not advertising,
but
in an advisory
she has
capacity.
not come back once. Yeah, that's
no. So it's one of those like it's gone from it's definitely not going to happen to it's probably not going to happen. It's like that's the one notch down. So we thought we were like this is coming from me.
Yes.
I went to Lincoln Park 3 weeks ago. Never thought I was going to have that again, right?
Of course.
So AJ Lee, as somebody we never thought was going to come back, if she wants to come in and have one match with her husband as a way to say hello and a proper goodbye, I'll be disappointed. I'll be disappointed slightly, but also be like, hey, if she got to come back for one night and go out on her own terms, all the best to her, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the other side of the coin is like you say, oh, maybe there was another way they could have introduced her back to the roster. The problem is, even more than Seth and Becky coming together made sense, but they already had separate careers within the WWE. But if you think about the type of fan, and let's not make any mistakes, I'm a CM Punk fan. CM Punk inspires a very specific, like almost cult-like following in the sense of he doesn't even have to do anything and you'll still follow him because he's that interesting, right?
Yeah.
When he got fucked and left WWE, and this is me that's had a lot to say about AEW, that's had a lot to say about how AEW treated CM Punk, which was terrible. But Punk left WWE because WWE was fucking him.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about that.
No.
Forever and ever and ever in a day.
But the
AJ
business
Lee
has
would go out there.
changed, the federation has changed, owners have changed, like everything is different
for sure.
now.
Completely different company now. But my point being, he got fucked and AJ Lee came out and people took it as a disrespect that she came out and people were chanting for CM Punk. But like she was the only vessel for the fans to express that they missed CM Punk. I don't think they were necessarily insulting AJ Lee, but now the opposite has happened. CM Punk came in and everybody was happy that CM Punk came back. Everybody, oh, we never thought this was going to happen. Hell was over, all that stuff. But since Punk's been back, the one question that's been trailing him has been, what about AJ? What about AJ? What about AJ? And he's even thrown her in a couple of promos, right?
Yeah, he's mentioned her name before. I guess that's why I was sick of it too, because we got it constantly thrown in our faces of, oh no, he said it once, she's returning, you know?
Yeah. I don't think in this case with these two particular characters, I don't think you could bring her in any other way. Because if you brought her in as a random entry in the Rumble, which would be fine, it would get a huge pop and all that kind of thing. the minute she shows up on TV, it's when are they going to link the two of them up? They're
Oh
going to cross
yeah,
paths.
it's
You're going to see
forever
them in the background.
gonna be
They're
linked
going
to
to they're
that.
going to replay that clip from like God, it's got to be 13 years ago at least. The whole like when she was with Daniel Bryan and he met her
Yep.
in the entryway and he kind of did crazy chicks.
Yep.
Like,
How many times is that gonna play at your wedding?
so I don't think as much as like they're gonna if she stays, they're gonna have separate paths. This is why I'm saying keep her on SmackDown, keep Punk on Raw, or vice versa, or whatever you want to do. But if you don't at least bring her in with him and let people get that idea out of their system, that idea is just going to follow both of them. And it's going to undercut whatever either one of them tries to do individually. So bringing them in as a pair, I'm sorry, I'm gonna throw it out there on the sand. I think this is the only way you could do it.
Yeah, this is pretty much like I said, the only way they can. I just hope that if there is like if it is what it's supposed to be, as they said, because she supposedly was rumored to be quoted as if she comes back, it's not going to be just one. She wants to have a run, kind of like what Nikki's doing, and I'm like, that's interesting, but not verified. I don't know for sure. How I'm taking it is though is WWE's just obsessed with moments. You know, they want that big pump, and that's what it'll be. We're gonna probably see her Friday on SmackDown. Like, though, at the very least, announce that they have a match with AJ. But I'm pretty sure she'll be there. I can't envision her not showing up at this point.
I think she has to show up. I think
Right?
if Punk comes out tomorrow night on SmackDown and just says, "Yeah, AJ's my partner. We'll see you at the pay-per-view," and she's
Yeah.
not there, as cool as that is and as positive an announcement as that is, I think it goes over like a wet fart if she's not there.
Yeah, people aren't
like,
gonna be
and they're
happy with
in
that one.
Chicago. They're in Chicago. The other ones out there that are like, oh well, maybe they're trolling us, and maybe it's Rhea Ripley. In any other scenario, the tag team of CM Punk and Rhea Ripley is awesome. I want to
Yeah.
see that on a piece of paper one day, right?
Typically, that's all you need, but not this
But
time.
if this is the one time, legitimately, and you know how high I am on Rhea Ripley.
You know how high I am.
I think this is the one time where somebody could announce Rhea Ripley and she'd get booed.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that would
Do you
mess
remember
her
the Royal
confidence
Rumble?
up.
Do you remember the one Royal Rumble when Rey Mysterio got booed for not being Daniel Bryan?
Oh yeah.
I don't I think it would be almost impossible to get Rhea Ripley booed at this point because she's a fucking star. I think the way they've set this up, and it's
Yeah.
A, it's the setup, and B, it's the following that both of them have, because people know what AJ Lee's been up to.
Yes.
Like, they know she wrote a book, they know she's been doing comic book stuff, they know she's had TV shows, they know her and Amy Garcia from Lucifer have done a lot of projects together. Like, people are fans of AJ Lee, whether she's a wrestler or not.
Yeah.
I watched MMA. I watched entirely one MMA match because I'm a CM Punk fan, and then I got real sad. But anyways,
really
but like
sad, but
this is one of those things where take the kind of following that CM Punk, and to a lesser extent AJ Lee as well, take the kind of following that they inspire. Take the 10-year gap, the 10-year catharsis that everybody felt when CM Punk showed up in Chicago 2 years ago, add in the suggestion of AJ Lee after waiting just as long,
yes.
and put somebody else in that spot at the last minute, even if it is somebody as fucking amazing as Rhea Ripley. I think
She'll get booed,
Rhea Ripley, that it's the only situation where Rhea Ripley gets booed out of the building. B, and I'm gonna steal fuckwit from What Culture's expression once again, promotional malpractice.
Yeah. Because they've all but said like this is happening. They've hinted towards it. Like to betray the fans like that is bad.
On a much more minor scale as well, like Rhea Ripley would be. Remember what we've said about Bianca and what we said about Naomi. Like, why would you pull them out of a feud they're already in to drop them into something that doesn't need them?
Yeah.
The other half of that is they're just starting this cool feud with Rhea Ripley and Asuka.
Yeah, why?
And that's a match I want to see.
Break that up at this point.
And if Rhea Ripley and Asuka isn't on this WrestlePalooza card, then they don't know what they have on their hands. And once again, promotional malpractice.
I don't think it's gonna be Rhea and Asuka. It's gonna be. Yeah, I think they're gonna hold off on that a little bit longer.
You think it's gonna be a tag?
No, yeah, I think we will get the one-on-one. The tag is gonna happen probably after the one-on-one. I
See,
think
here's
I
what
think
I'm
the
here's what I'm
Kabuki
thinking though,
Warriors
right?
turn heel officially by turning on Rhea. They're going to keep attacking Rhea. Io's going to come out, and then they're going to attack Rio, and that's Io. Excuse me, I got Rio on my brain, but I think that's how it's going to
I
work.
think what happens at WrestlePalooza, because we're gonna get a tag match. We're gonna get Io and Rio versus the Kabuki at some point. I
Yes.
think you can do something at you can do 2 back-to-back events at WrestlePalooza that set that up. First of all, Kabuki Warriors cost Io Sky the World Women's Championship when they turn on her and it puts the belt on Stephanie Vacour.
Yeah.
Not exactly the greatest start for Stephanie Vacour, but storyline wise, it works. Later on in the night, maybe even on the night, you have Rhea Ripley see it, and she calls out Asuka to a one-on-one match, and ends up dealing with both of them, and the match gets thrown out. This is the one situation where I would be okay with a match being thrown out on a pay-per-view,
Yeah.
unannounced.
Dun dun.
Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. That is interrupted by Kairi Sane. Now, the idea that Kairi Sane is the maker against Rhea Ripley is kind of funny, but you get an already injured, already pissed off Io Sky back out.
Yes.
There's a four-way brawl. It all gets broken up. Da 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 da. U2 versus U2 in Australia at Crown Jewel. Excuse me.
Yeah, it would be something. I mean, that's a hell of a match for Crown Jewel, especially in Australia. Rhea's always big. You get tag, you build everything upwards. I think that's a pretty damn good way to do it.
I think if you do that in Australia,
Yeah.
Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus the Kabuki Warriors, that could main event.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's such a big match. So I could see the buildup happening soon, but not yet soon, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you whether it's at WrestlePalooza or not, I think you get Rhea Ripley versus Asuka first that leads to the tag. Because
Yes.
right now you got Kairi Sane, who's kind of trying to play the peacemaker in everybody, but also she's being led around by the invisible leash by Rhea Ripley, which
Yeah.
is kind of funny. And like, what's Asuka's new gimmick? She's a dick. Like, it is what it
works.
is. Now, all kinds of awesome things to come out of AJ Lee. Obviously, you're going to get AJ Lee versus Roxanne Perez at some point because of the connections there in real life. This version of AJ Lee 10 years later, how does she measure up against somebody like a Charlotte Flair, a Becky Lynch? Depending on what they're doing with this new like split personality Bailey, give me AJ Lee versus Bailey.
Yes. There's so many dream matches, and that's what I was snapping at Cody about. I'm like, yes, there's all these dream matches, but let's find out if she's back first, and then let's, you know what I mean? Because I was telling him,
yeah.
And, you know, in the context of the review, because I was like, everyone's jumping on it, but we don't know for sure. Like, you and I are here to speculate. That's our jobs. But at that point, I was like, what do we know for sure?
But you know what it is, though? You're absolutely right, but I'd rather fantasy book 100 things before somebody comes along and says, well, this isn't happening and this isn't
Oh,
happening,
absolutely. I'm saying, what was there to be any sort of proof that she was coming back? The only thing we had was CM Punk pointing at a sign when Becky joined. You know, like we didn't know for sure that this was going to happen.
You're talking about at the end of Clash?
Yes.
At the end of his match at Clash?
Yeah.
That was pretty on the nose.
Yes.
To be perfectly honest with you. Yeah.
I'm saying up until that, we had nothing that was, you know, any type of... In him pointing at the sign, you could just say, oh, that's him acknowledging his wife. You know, like it could have been 100 different... But now we know for sure.
Yeah, but the sign he pulled out of the crowd was something like Punk bring back AJ.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So
you could pull an AJ sign out of the crowd, no problem. But you choose the one that says bring her back.
Yeah.
And you know what? And it's on the nose and it's obvious and nobody's going to be surprised, but we're still going on the ride and that's fine.
Exactly. It was just like Punk's return in Chicago. You know, everybody knew it was the worst kept secret in wrestling. We knew he was returning, but we just didn't know how, when, and, you know, it was going to happen. And then we were like, oh, it's Chicago. Okay. They never actually advertised him being on the show, but everybody just knew, like, okay, this is what's happening.
Because there's definitely been times in the war between WWE and AEW where I thought, okay, like they're not going to chase WWE away, but we might be a little bit fucked. The biggest example was the pay-per-view. I don't remember which one it was, but they did the 1-2 punch at the end of introducing Adam Cole and then introducing Bryan Danielson. Right? Like that was a lot. That was when I texted you and Guapo and I was like, I think we might be fucked.
Yeah, there's some problems ahead.
But you know what it was? The antithesis of that was me watching CM Punk walk back into Chicago at the end of Elimination Chamber. Or not
Yeah,
Elimination
that
Chamber,
was
War Games.
War Games, yeah. Having
Which
that
was funny
moment.
because Randy Orton had made his comeback the same night, and if you see them backstage, he's like, "You couldn't let me have one night or one opportunity to show everybody.
Take this moment.
That's how
Let it
winning is
slip."
done."
Mom spaghetti.
Slim Randy.
Now that's a
Have you seen the Ric Flair rant out there? Oh my god, I can't believe how WWE is criminally wasting Randy Orton. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Rick, normally I've got your back, but what are you doing?
Rick hasn't needed to have anybody having his back for a while now. Rick's kind of lost it for a bit. So
Yeah,
sad to say, Rick hasn't quite been the Rick we thought he was for a long time, but he's also I don't think he knows who Rick is anymore, sadly.
Yeah. He's Uncle Benji at the end of the table at Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Uncle Benji's at the end of the table doing his Uncle Benji thing.
Just doing stuff, yeah.
The last element that I want to talk about as far as it goes for this massive mixed tag that we can all but assume that we're getting. I'll ask you an obvious question. You'll give me an obvious answer. What was the best part of Raw this week?
Oh, clearly the whole ending and everything with CM Punk, and I mean,
what's funny is you say the ending. It was so good,
well,
you thought it was the ending, but that wasn't even the end of the
main
show.
event. Yes, but my main event.
Such a cool promo. Becky's a star.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Becky's a star, but putting her on the mic in a ring with CM Punk is still a test.
Oh, no doubt.
And she passed.
She did great.
And she passed. Like, the promo got less good when Rollins came out.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Because the promo was Punk and Becky when she was paintbrushing him and whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it was like,
and everybody kind of made the joke, right? Because we know it's not going to happen. Everybody made the joke that, oh, well, there's your next WrestleMania main event, CM Punk versus Becky Lynch, which I would be all on board for, right?
Who wouldn't want to jump on that bandwagon?
Here's the paradox, though. The entire crux of that promo is that we can't do it.
Oh, yeah, because there's no intergender. He can't get his revenge.
Have the match. We can't have the match, right? We can't do Becky versus Punk. We can have a moment like Corbin giving her the end of days, or the Deep Six.
Yeah.
In the mix tag, and that got a huge pop. And I thought they might have gone with a GTS. I'm like, okay, they're on Netflix, they're not on network TV anymore. They might get away with it. Are they going to do it? And that's the tease. The tease is wonderful, right? But the entire dynamic of that promo is she's horrible. Punk can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because he's the good guy. And whatever you think about mixed gender wrestling, he's the good guy by walking away after he got slapped. Sort of a mirror of real life and how shitty real life is. But
yeah,
here's the thing. I would love a world where the potential main event of WrestlePalooza was CM Punk versus Becky Lynch. Right?
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
But here's the paradox of all this. Great promo. Becky was awesome. Punk was awesome. Rollins was there to give some levity while these two were having this intense promo, which is an interesting role for Rollins to be in as well. Here's the paradox. This promo was so good that it made you want Becky versus Punk. But if we lived in a world where we could get Becky versus Punk, the promo wouldn't have been as good. Because the whole idea of, oh my God, look at the tension, he can't do anything, would be gone.
Exactly.
So this promo is so good, it made you want the match that would have made the promo not good anymore. And that's fucking wild.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's fucking wild. The stupidity of WWE is not having this be the main event.
It does.
Because they had another thrown together tag, and it's nothing against Jey Uso, and it's nothing against LA Knight. Yeah. And it's nothing against the Brawns. Like I say, the Brawns could be a tag team on their own. Take Paul Heyman and the Brawns away from Seth Rollins, because I almost don't want the Brawns to be involved in the mixed tag match. I don't know how they would be, but they will be.
Yeah. No
Let the
doubt
mixed
about
tag
it.
be its own thing. Let Becky and Lynch, Becky and Punk, fuck me, Becky and Rollins. You can
There
tell
we
I'm
go.
excited when I lose my words. Let Becky and Rollins continue to be a unit after this. I'm going to say the opposite for them as I'm saying for AJ Lee and Punk, because AJ Lee obviously needs to come and not reestablish herself, but like set her roots down again if she is
Yes.
staying. So I want them to stay apart. Becky and Rollins as a heel unit, I want to see them have a bit of a run with that. But if they're going to have a bit of a run with that, and the story is they're the new power couple of WWE, then they don't need the bronze, and they really don't need Heyman, because
Yeah, no,
neither
you're
one of
not
them needs a
wrong.
mouthpiece. Let there be like sort of a quiet, like not that the group splits up and there's a problem. Let Heyman take the bronze
Yeah.
to win tag team gold or whatever. Let Becky and I was about to say Becky and Lynch again. Becky and Rollins go off and do their own thing, and let Becky continue to be a thorn in Punk's side as we go to eventually Punk getting that title off of Rollins.
Yes.
Where the twin towers of WWE are going to be CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, and I will laugh at AEW because they are a laughable entity at this point.
Wait, so the towers are coming down? Jet fuel? Never mind.
Put the rocket fuel into the new millennium, brother. Fuck is messaging me while we're trying to have a conversation.
I'm telling you.
But yeah, I want to, because they can't announce it just yet because it hasn't been announced yet. But I want to see what actually is on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was not happy either.
according to Wikipedia, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar is official.
See, so that's.
I don't know. I don't know if somebody jumped the gun there.
They might have. Maybe they announced
because
something that we missed.
listed. It's listed. The only two matches are Io Sky, Stephanie Vaccouras, which was announced on Raw.
Yeah.
For the vacant women's, fucking lot of vacant titles recently. Me and you talking about Destiny last night, and me getting a kick in the shin over. That was a lot of fun. Go check that out. I talk about Destiny again. Check it off my Spaz Phoenix bucket list. It's fine, but it's funny because the open entry on Wikipedia right now, as I've got it up on my phone, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar TBA match. So that leads me to believe that the rumors,
yeah.
But the rumor over the weekend, obviously, like we knew this was happening.
Yes.
After the big thing that happened at SummerSlam or whatever. The rumor is, and I don't know if I like this or not, considering the stage of Cena's career that he's in. The rumor is that this is going to be a last man standing.
Yeah, I've heard that as well, and that plays into I could protect Brock with some shenanigans.
Yeah.
If Cena goes over.
See, here's the thing where you said like, oh, he might be doing just this match and he's done.
Yeah.
If he's only doing one match and leaving, like he doesn't need to be protected per se.
No. I doubt he's doing one match and leaving. I'm just going, over all the discourse that's happening.
I want him to stick around. I don't know who I want to see him fight.
That's the thing. I don't know where he fits in right now, because I don't want to see him back in the title picture. Let Lesnar be a spectacle that everyone oohs and ahs, not this
I think
force that you can't reckon with that nobody wants to see,
Here you go. Just totally like booking like a Redditor here. Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu versus Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. There's nothing to give a shit about. Give me some big people that are going to hit hard in a match.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, that's
because on a side note,
as you can get.
As funny as it is to watch Obafemi chuck, what's his name? Javon Evans around.
Yes.
I want somebody that he can look in the eye. And him and Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker are going to be a triple threat at WrestleMania in like 5 years.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Like that's coming, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun, like getting back to the Seth and Becky and AJ and Punk thing, provided they don't give us a drastic swerve tomorrow night on SmackDown. That would be really, really dumb.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think we've proved it tonight with me actually taking real notes and everything. Like there's so many different facets of it. Like we took one story and got like 5 different stories out of it.
Yes.
But like Becky joining Seth is a story. The continuation of Seth and Punk is a story. The return of AJ Lee
Lee.
is a story. Um, the Becky Punk thing is not a story per se, but it brings up a lot of like, hey, what if wrestling did this
It certainly branches off
type of
into a
stories?
story. Even if they don't face off, it still leads, like you said, AJ Lee is a thing on her own, but still, that's the catalyst, so it's still needed.
I wonder if on the pay-per-view, Becky gets a go to sleep.
That would be great. And think about it here too, not even just with that, but like you said, the women's tag titles coming into play. We know that they're having this, tournament of sorts to see who's going to face Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair on
Yep.
NXT. We're seeing who's going where. We don't know if they're going up or coming down with the
Hey.
tag titles, but
Speed title on NXT.
which is awesome. I'm glad they're still
I
having
don't know
that.
if it's awesome, but
Well,
like,
it's awesome that they're at least doing something with it. Like better
Yeah.
than just, hey, it didn't work, we scrapped it. At least try. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work now, fine. But at least you tried different variations and attempts.
It's a pattern with me. I like the fact that people are so wound up about it. The fact that something that at the most is going to take up 3 minutes of the show
Yes.
should not wind you up that much.
You'd be surprised. Like you said, people get very
Zaya
territorial
Brookside
with their
and
wrestling.
Candice LeRae was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
And
in,
I like
out, and
the
good to
fact,
go. Like, what more do you need for that?
but the fact that NXT continues to be the landing pad where everybody can land. Like we've seen AAA people show up in NXT. We've seen TNA people show up in NXT. We obviously get people from the main roster in NXT. We have Yoshiki Inamura from Noah on NXT. I wouldn't doubt that sooner or later we get somebody from Bloodsport in NXT. I think the fact that WWE has so many shows, but the show that they pick to do all the mixing and matching and anybody can meet at the crossroads type of idea is in NXT
Yeah.
is a very unique element for that show.
Oh,
Zaya
yeah.
Brookside, who's in TNA, but and they did a really good package on her as well, that has so much experience, not only with the Mae Young Classic, but also establishing herself in NXT UK when that was a thing before going over to TNA.
Yeah.
I'm here representing TNA, but it's also kind of a homecoming. Same thing with Dana Brooke winning her TNA Knockouts title at an NXT show. Lots and lots and lots of cool things, and it makes it. It's really really cliche to say, but NXT is always kind of the Wild West because anybody
it makes
show
it
up.
Exciting.
Like Briggs trolled Javon Evans with the Undertaker gong, but Undertaker has been in NXT.
Exactly.
And the only reason it works, the only reason the fake out works is because it has happened for real.
Yeah, we've seen him a couple of times now,
again,
so it's like, oh, this is a possibility.
I am reliably informed, though, that using Undertaker in NXT is cheating. So,
maybe
we need to cut that out.
We've been warned,
Maybe we need to cut that out.
We need to cut him out. I do know Michelle was mad I went out there without her.
Oh my God.
She said I stole her pop. She's the best women's wrestler of all time.
Okay, that's got to be a running gimmick now because we've done it enough times now. Undertaker in catering is now a gimmick.
It has to be. He's always there watching and waiting. They got no more of them rice cakes I like.
I got to book me some luchador. What do we think about that? Undertaker being one of the creative forces behind AAA now.
Right? I mean, that's certainly a shocker. Didn't have that on my bingo card or anywhere near, but it makes sense with everything that he's been doing. I
didn't like doing them type of flips in my day, but I'm not booking from my day, am I? I'm be a dead man adore.
It just works though. We've rambled. That's the thing. It really does. He fits now with the LFG stuff.
We have successfully rambled for quite a while. Yeah, the LFG thing. I'm gonna watch it one day. I don't really care right now. I'm not gonna lie. What's her name? Sorry, I was about to wrap up the thing. Callie Armstrong, the Evolve Women's Champion, had a hell of a match with Jordan Grace on NXT.
Yes, she did.
Let's talk about it.
She went ahead and, like I said, NXT was good this week. It wasn't great. It didn't have that oh my God, it's incredible type feel, but it also wasn't a waste either. Like
I think we had some of those silly these things can happen on NXT moments, though.
which
Hank
I
and
don't
Tank,
mind.
Hank and Tank summoning Joe Hendry at the end was fucking phenomenal.
Peak cinema, as we say, my friend. Peak cinema.
Joe Hendry. And then
that's how you use him, though. Like, what a better way to have it done.
But it's right out of the meme, though. And then a wild Joe Hendry appeared.
Yeah, I would love for them to do it, like, not overkill, but like twice in one night, where they go ahead and, like, you know, somebody, and this, so it's like it can happen any point in time. But we've seen it all sorts of ways at this point in time, and I just like, you know, whether it's a fridge or
when he gets his call up to the main roster, I can see Adam Pearce. I've got a new member of the roster, but I'm so excited that you know, I dare not say his name. Something like that.
Yeah, that's all you need. It works so perfect.
I think because so many people, former AEW talents, are seeing the light and coming to the, you know, the big boy show and all that, I really think somebody needs to create merch that says "called up from AEW."
Ooh, I like it. Sign me up.
I don't have merch. I don't make money here. I barely make sense now, let alone dollars. Jake, tell them where to find you, buddy.
You can go ahead and you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Jake DeMarco, on Twitter /X, and on Instagram, and also on Rumble at Countdown Ended. On TikTok, it's Jake.Countdown Ended. And then you can find us on Spotify. That's right. Search Into Somewhere on Spotify. And I believe that's everywhere. TikTok? We are still banned on TikTok Live, but we're still posting those TikToks. So we'll be.
If you're banned on TikTok, it means you're doing something right.
Exactly. Censors be damned.
And you guys know where to find me, or you wouldn't be here. I've been Spaz. This has been Jake. This has been The State of Wrestling. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, me and Super Sexy Jake are hanging out. Bye, guys.